Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Vasundhara and I make content around lifestyle and a little bit of travel and my new puppy Chiggles and a little bit of beauty and whatever else is going on in my life. I basically recently in the last 1 year dropped around 8 kilos and it was not rapid. It's been a very sustainable way of losing weight and gaining muscle mass. So I get asked that pretty often on my Instagram as to how I am doing it. Quickly run you through what exactly it is that I'm doing, and I hope it's of help to you. The main point is that it is a very sustainable and healthy way of losing weight and gaining muscle mass. So to begin with, a little bit of background. I was going through symptoms of long COVID and they were showing up in an unexplained intense pain in my muscles and joints, and specifically in my hip region. It felt like I was running a high fever while I was otherwise perfectly fine, and everything else was normal life was going on, but my health was pretty bad. And I'm talking about say 1 to 1.5 years after I got COVID. And in April 2024 is when I decided that I am going to use strength training to kind of see if I can psych myself into coping with the symptoms. So that is where it's coming from. I had basically joined the gym so that I live pain-free. I started to strength train back in 2016, and after COVID I was pretty much lying in bed for 8 to 10 months because I was in immense muscular pain and my energy levels were really low. My vitamin D3 and B12 kept dropping every few weeks, and I think we had gone to Himachal and to Naldera. I had also put up a vlog of our trip to Shimla and Naldera, and that was the trip when I realized being a mountain soul, and a mountain soul is the word. I am a mountain soul, and having lived in Shimla so long, I was not being able to walk at all over there, and it hit me pretty bad that I feel handicapped. And because I had rested so much during the long COVID, after my back-to-back COVIDs, I got it twice. Because I had rested so much, and when I say rest, it wasn't just me at home, but it was bed rest, but obviously I lost a lot of muscle mass, I gained some amount of weight, and I just kept getting nutritional deficiencies. April 2024 is when I decided that I'm going to join the gym and that I'll try and strength train 4 to 5 times a week. Because I was in such a bad physical state, my mental health also wasn't great. I was thinking a lot, overthinking, sorry. I was overthinking a lot, and I was struggling to do small tasks. So the work list was just always pending or piling up, which was making me quite anxious. And overall, I wasn't in the best headspace. And I'd also like to just add in that I think when I look back now, I had somewhere joined the gym to kind of cope with my psychological health more than my physical health, and which is also why it became the need of the hour for me to show up at the gym 5 to 6 times a week. 20th of May 2024 is when I joined the gym and I started to strength train. Now, one thing that really worked in my favor was that my brother had been into strength training and he knew how to utilize the machines and the various kind of exercises, the cable, the dumbbells, the different machines at the gym. And I would say that really worked out in my favor, because a gym can be a very intimidating space for somebody who has not trained before. I think earlier also, whenever I did join a gym, I just felt like I didn't know what to do with my body. Whenever I would enter, the lack of a plan or the lack of knowledge or direction would leave me pretty clueless and intimidated is the word at the gym. So I would not go back then. So this time around, I didn't go in with any pressure of is baar to karna hi hai and all of that. I was genuinely just like, I want to get rid of these painful symptoms. So I told my brother, you make a plan for me, make a simple plan, make it the simplest you can, because I don't have the kind of mental capacity to deal with anything more complicated. And now I also understand at this stage that simple is great. Like, be it your diet, your workout plan, whatever else you do in life, try and keep your plans simple so that they are sustainable. So anyway, May 2024, I joined the gym and I started to strength train. And our focus was not weight loss or fat loss. Our focus between my brother Gandharv and me was hypertrophy, which basically means we are trying to build muscle mass. And which also means we're trying to build strength. And so I started with a very, very simple workout plan where I would do back and biceps, chest and triceps. I think most people do it that way. Then legs, and later on I switched it to doing arms on a separate day because I was just always reaching the gym really late. So the basic was that we hit back and biceps, chest and triceps, and legs, and then repeat, and then repeat. That was the main point of it. And every day I would do an incline walk of my body. I don't think could take more than 10 to 12 minutes back in last year. So I would do 10 to 12 minutes of an incline walk, sometimes not even that, because I would get tired really quick. The second thing I would say is I started to realize that when I started working out, I was not experiencing pain. And the minute I had a 2 to 3 day break from working out, my fibromyalgia or whatever, it's not diagnosed, but of course we all chat GPT health symptoms, but whatever body pain that long COVID or muscle mass loss was causing for me, I was not experiencing that hip pain any longer. And the moment I would have a 2 to 3 day break from the gym, the pain would come back. So that kind of made me in that mental zone of being a hamster on a wheel, that if we don't do this, then the pain comes back. So we just do that. I stuck to 5 to 6 days, actually 6 days, going and strength training for the first 4 to 5 months. And what I did along with that was that to stay in a slight caloric deficit. And by slight, I mean I was still consuming 2000 calories a day. I did not want to go into a further deficit because anyway, my body is not like absorbing nutrition. And I just didn't feel that I was mentally ready in that moment to get onto a caloric cut. So my brother and I chalked out. We decided that I'm going to stick to 2000 calories in a day. Went onto a website. I'll put the link somewhere over here where you fill in the details and approximately it'll give you your BMR. Now, BMR is the basal metabolic rate, which means when you are not really exerting, when you're just pretty much existing, the amount of calories your body is burning. So we got that number, and I can't really remember what that was for me. I think maybe it was 1750 or 1850 or something. Was to consume 100 to 200 calories lesser than that because we wanted to live and do this plan in a very, very sustainable manner. I know a lot of people, and I've also done it in the past, where one gets onto a big caloric deficit and then that doesn't remain sustainable. And in the long run, if you're into training, you'll also realize that your strength is going down and it can be quite a bummer. So anyway, I'm still not in a deficit. I've been eating pretty well. And so the point was that I stick to consuming 2000 calories a day. Now, coming down to the tracking, I track my food, FitnessPal, and I use the free version of it. And I mostly make everything at home. So slowly I realized that the ingredients that are working for me, I stick to the same thing. So if I'm eating, say, 2 eggs is easy to feed in and it's good nutrition, and everything became very structured. So in the last 1 year, my life has been pretty much like, in terms of food and in terms of workout, a copy paste. Every 3 days, my life is exactly like, in terms of the food and my workouts is copy paste, because anything more complicated than this, I cannot sustain, because I do have a challenging life. I work from home. There are some 10,000 tasks to do in the day. There's also a puppy to look after now. So the point was to keep everything a copy paste. I did not want to be too experimental with, say, my diet or my workouts. And the point was just to get into the discipline of doing the same thing 5 to 6 times a week and doing it on repeat. And if we falter, we don't fall off the track. We don't beat ourselves up. The next day, we just get back onto track and do the same thing, the same disciplined thing over and over again. Third thing would be that I set a protein limit, a goal that I had to hit on my FitnessPal of my protein intake. And I haven't stuck to it to the T, but I have made a very conscious choice to include more proteins, vegetables, and fruits into my diet. And I probably also did reduce my carbs to some degree. So if I was always a 2 roti eater, I have 1.5 rotis now, but I add a side of chicken breast or paneer or some protein source into every meal. So yeah, I think the basics remain the same. I kept strength training, and I think after January, I'd say that I started going to the gym pretty late at night, so I stopped getting the time to do my cardio, and that is something that faltered off. And by then I'd already lost the 6 to 8 kilos, which I wouldn't really say was, I didn't do a great job of staying in a caloric deficit, to be honest. I did feel like I increased my muscle strength, definitely. Life got easier, squatting and doing things around the house got easier, picking up, lifting things got easier. And that itself is such a kick for somebody who enjoys strength training, that every time you go into a caloric deficit or you try and lose weight, your strength also reduces a little bit. So anyway, I'm still trying to work around that, but the basics remained just the same. And apart from that, I think one more thing that I did was that I don't have much of a sweet tooth. So but I do love desserts. Like, I don't need to eat sweet every day, but I have my fixed desserts. So if I like something it's a Belgian torte, basically a dark chocolate dessert from a specific restaurant, I would have my sweet when I was craving it. But in terms of everyday living, and my routine of my coffee and all, I completely quit sugar. Like, I moved on to stevia, or then I started having my coffee black and actually started enjoying that more. But yeah, has been the main crux of what I've done. I haven't really done anything magical. Observed is that my body reacts better to not eating in the hours, like the 5 to 6 hours after I wake up. So I am a late riser. I wake up at around 1 or 2 p.m. And the only kind of consumption I have during the next 5, 6, 7, 8 hours is fruit and coffee, which is usually black coffee or coffee with very, very little milk in it. And I feel energized that way. If I start to eat the minute I wake up, I usually feel sluggish and I don't feel well. So yeah, the hours after I wake up, quite a few hours after I wake up, I don't really consume my calories then. I'm a night eater, so I'm a night liver, but like, I'm a night eater. So when I start consuming my calories around a little before the gym, so like 7:30, 8 p.m. And then I eat my proper like carbs and protein and my regular food properly up until around like 2 or 3 a.m. So I don't know whether to call this intermittent fasting. It's just some weird version of an intermittent fasting, because I'm eating fruit and I'm having my beverages, so I'm not technically on a fast. But yeah, I barely get like 100, 150 calories in the first 6 to 8 hours of my day. Another thing that helped me is to like have any kind of a snack around 1.5 hours before my gym, which is common sense. But like, I really took my time to figure what to eat when, and my brother really drilled it into my head. I would do stuff like, just having my protein carbs whenever, and then going and like burping at the gym, and things are not digested, and my brother was like, why can't you just stick to doing this? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna write it down, stick it on the wall in my kitchen, what I'm to eat when, so that those parts of my day are extremely structured. Because another thing I've realized is we mess up and eat junk when things are not planned properly. Like, when you have pushed yourself to the limit that you're like so hungry that you could eat an entire pig or whatever, that is usually when all the impulsive, silly decisions happen, where you order your brownies and your chocolate and whatever else and gobble it up mindlessly. So that is something that really helped. It helps for me to have the correct ingredients that I have chosen for myself ready in the fridge, ready for consumption. There are dates and walnuts and seeds lying in our drawer, because my husband's also a long distance runner, so that stuff is always stocked up in our kitchen. So whenever I'm craving something, I'm feeling low on energy, I reach out to those first, and then think through, do I really need, say, a heavy sandwich or something right now? One more thing that I would like to add is, in terms of like sticking to my calorie goal, is that invented my own ways. Everybody will have their own way of doing this, but I am a massive beverage person. I run a coffee company. I love matcha. I love my iced coffee or whatever else in the afternoon. So I devised a way of making very, very low calorie iced coffee and matcha. So like my iced coffee and matcha are like barely 20, 30, 40 calories each, and that really adds up, because if somebody is having 3 to 4, 5 beverages in a day, that immediately brings whatever those 300-400 calories would have been to about 80 calories in a day. And it's also very, very easy to load up on sugar when you are a beverage lover like me. So that is something that really helped. Magic is the part that being consistent with strength building, your exercises that build strength, with the caloric deficit or at least maintenance. Don't be in a surplus of calories, because then you would gain weight. And cardio, so that the heart and the lungs and the rest of the body and the skin also remains happy and good. And when we start to build muscle mass, our BMR, basal metabolic rate, also increases, and that allows you basically to be burning calories when you're just existing and doing nothing much at a higher rate than otherwise. And when at around somewhat the same weight, maybe I have reduced a little bit of weight because I also started having creatine, and that kind of gives some amount of water weight to the body. But I've been pretty much the same weight since I would say like April, May to now. And honestly, there have been no efforts on my part to really be on a cut, a caloric cut or a deficit. The slumps of, say, a weight plateau or a strength plateau come in, I feel that it becomes very important to psychologically take a step back and allow yourself the time to just maintain. Like, don't look at it as a plateau, but look at it, that period, as maintenance work, where your discipline is being tested, your motivation is being tested. So you got to be extremely disciplined and stick to the basics. Working out became a way of life, more so for my mind than my body. And the weight loss, the strength gain were more so the side effects of the fact that I kept running to the gym for my psychological health. Meal prep and whatever else I do to increase my protein intake, if you want, I could make another video on it. I love to marinate fish and chicken and prep. A lot of you have thought that I'm going to probably give some magical answer, but I think the main thing is consistency and sticking to working out. Losing weight is basic mathematics, and discipline helps. About joining the gym was that it became my me time. It was similar to meditation for a lot of people. I created a playlist of music, and that really helped. That on difficult days when I didn't want to go to the gym really helped to make me just put on my shoes and leave. Another thing that really helped was, these are just like psychological hacks that have helped me. Maybe they'll help you, but I would basically put on my joggers, my t-shirt and my sports bra, very important. I've had an injury to do with that, which is why I'm mentioning. And my sports shoes, I would put them on at around 3 p.m. That's also when I walk jiggles. So I'd be in my gym attire, so that mental obstacle is out of the way before gym time. I go to the gym at around 9 or 10 p.m. and I would be in my gym way before that. That really helped. It's a very stupid hack, but it helped me. What really helped me was that with time, when you start to train, you start realizing which parts of your body are responding well to strength training. And for me, it's my legs and my lower body, surprisingly. I have heard a lot of negative things about my lower body in general. And that was not the kind of mindset I went into the gym with. For some reason, I thought my upper body will react better, because I have had a knee issue going on most of my 20s, which was misdiagnosed by a doctor. So that went pretty downhill. Because of that, I assumed that my upper body has more strength and my lower body is in quite a mess. But on the contrary, when I started to train legs, I realized that my lower body is massively my strength. Years ago, my brother had mentioned to me that I get a feeling that you would really enjoy leg workouts. And I was like, what kind of an assumption is that? How do you know that? But I remember the first time I went and my brother was teaching me how to use the leg press machine. And I was realizing that, whoa, like I'm seeing growth every few weeks. And even now, like I can't say that I have a favorite workout day, there are certain exercises that I avoid and I do not like, triceps being one of them. But legs, I really enjoy working out, and one starts to see growth happening every 2, 3, 4 weeks. That automatically becomes the factor that drives you back to that place to train harder and better and more consistently. So like a friend was asking me that how do you remain so disciplined, and I would say that the motivation has been to see the strength gain, and to see that a certain muscle group or a part of your body is reacting well to the workouts or the exercises that you're doing. That can be quite addictive. So I feel that that's working for me up until now, and compared to a lot of other gym goers, I'm still a newbie, and I have just been training for the last 14 months. But whatever challenges do come my way, I'd probably sit and watch this video that I'm shooting right now to see where I started and how life was before I started to strength train. But yeah, that's about it. If you guys have any questions, please make sure to drop them in the comments section. I'll try my best to answer them. And I would still say that don't try and be obsessed with the weighing scale or the weight loss part of this journey. Instead, focus on building strength and consuming enough protein, hydrating yourself, nourish your body versus leeching it, because that's the only way your body is going to repay you when you are older, and you need all the strength and the nutrients. Hope that this video was of help to you to whatever capacity, and I'll do another version of this 2 to 3 weeks later. 2 to 3 months later, sorry, 2 to 3 weeks में और कुछ नहीं बदलने वाला. 2 to 3 months later, probably also understanding how my journey has evolved, whether I'm being able to stay as disciplined or not, whether I've lost weight, whatever else, whether I've gained strength. And yeah, up until then, thank you so much for watching, and do consider subscribing to my channel. And I really hope this video was of help to you. Up until next time, bye.